In Year 6, pupils are expected to work with numbers up to 10 million. We're going to look in particular here at adding 10,000 and 100,000 and understanding what's actually happening to the digits in a number. We're starting with the number 8,884,731, and we've been asked to write the next three numbers in the sequence when we add 10,000 each time. You'll see that the 10,000s column, I've put the 8 digit in yellow so that that stands out and you can see what's happening. Because we're adding 10,000 and that is in the 10,000s column, that is the digit that is going to change every time we add 10,000. The digits after that, in the thousands, hundreds, tens and ones, they will remain exactly the same. We're going to add on 10,000. Watch what happens to the digit 8 in the 10,000s column. And that just goes up by 1. For those of you who need help understanding how this works when you're doing a written method, if we have the number we started with, 8,884,731, and we add on 10,000, and you can see where those digits are in each column. The 4,731, you can see we're adding nothing to those, so they stay as 4,731. The 80,000, however, has another 10,000 added to it, so that will become 90,000. So we put the 9 in that place value column. Because we haven't gone over the next boundary to the 100,000s, the 8,800,000 will stay the same. So there's our first number in the sequence. Now we're going to add on another 10,000. If you have a look in that 10,000s column, you'll see we now have a 9, and that's the highest digit in our base 10 number system. So if we're adding 10,000, that digit has to go back to 0. So that 8 in the 100,000s column is also going to change. That 10,000 column goes to 0. The 100,000s column has to go up as well to allow for that. So our number is now 8,904,731. And again, just to see how that works when you're writing it down and where those digits come from, we're adding 10,000 to the number we had previously, which was 8,894,731. Once again, you can see that the 4,731 remain the same. In the 10,000s, we're adding another 10,000 to the 90,000. So that means that becomes 100,000. So 9 add 1 is 10. We put the 0 in there and we carry the 1, which is actually carrying 100,000. And we need to add that 100,000 onto the 800,000. So that becomes 900,000. And then the 8 million stays the same. So there's our next number in the sequence. The next one's nice and simple because we just have to change what's in the 10,000s column, and that 0 will become a 1. This is one for you to have a go at. You're going to add 10,000 to get the next three numbers in the sequence. Your number is 8,976,347. Pause the video and have a go. Looking at the 10,000s column, you have a 7, and that's just going to go up to 8. None of the others will change, and once again we'll quickly look at what that is written down so you can see why that happens. The 6,347, they just have zeros added to them, so they stay the same. The 70,000 has another 10,000 added to it. In that column we have 7, add 1, so that becomes 8, which is 80,000. And the 8,900,000, they stay the same. So there's your first number in the sequence. The next one again isn't too tricky because it's just that 10,000 that will go up, and that will go up to 9. So your next number is 8,996,347. Your next number, however, is where you need to cross into the next boundary, into the 100,000s. This is a nice tricky one here, because as well as the 10,000s being a 9, the 100,000 is also a 9. So what's going to happen to that 8 million? Because the 10,000s is going to change to a 0, we have to add 1 to the 100,000s. But that's also going to become a 0. So the million needs to go up 1 as well. So your final number in that sequence is 9,006,347. If we look at that written down, so you can see why that happens, the 6,347, we're just adding zeros, so they stay the same. That 90,000, we're adding another 10,000, so we're adding 1 to that 9 digit, which brings it up to 10. So we have to put the 0 in there to represent how many 10,000s we have, and we carry that 1, which is actually 100,000. Now we have to add that to the 9 in the 100,000s column, making that 900,000 1 million. And we have to carry 1 again, and that 1 is added to the 8 million to make it 9 million. So we now have 9,006,347. Counting on in steps of 100,000 is exactly the same, just working with a different column. Here we have the number 8,853,821, and we're being asked, what's the next number when you add on 100,000? So you have a look at that purple column, the 100,000 column, which currently has 800,000 in it, and we're going to add 100,000, and that's a nice easy one. It just goes up to the next digit, which is 900,000. 8,953,821. But what about when we add another 100,000? So you're going to have a go at this. Remember how this worked when you were adding the 10,000. Pause the video and have a go. That 900,000 is going to become a 0, which means that the millions will need to go up to 9 million. This time we're going to add 100,000 to 9,953,821. And I'm going to leave this for you to try. Pause the video, have a go. That 100,000s column has a 9 in it, which needs to go to 0, which means that the millions will need to go up as well. But that's also a 9. We're going to need to add a digit to that 10 millions column. So the 100,000s goes up to a 0, which means the millions goes from a 9 to a 0. So we have to add 1 to the 10 millions to account for that. So our number now is 10,053,821.